I'm your host, Lindiwe Kers, and welcome to Stories from Women in Tech, a series where we spotlight incredible women shaping the future of technology and innovation. Throughout this campaign, we've been exploring the journeys, challenges, and breakthroughs of women making their mark across fintech, Web3, and beyond. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Thais Ribeiro, a passionate ecosystem builder and advocate for Web3, joining us all the way from Portugal. Thais has played a pivotal role in designing Web3 startup incubation efforts, onboarding developers and projects, and creating high-impact community activations tailored to diverse market needs. We'll be diving into her story, her insights, and her advice for anyone wanting to create meaningful impact in the tech space. Thais, it's so great to have you with us today. Let's start with your journey. What first drew you into the world of Web3 and blockchain?
Hi, Lindy. Thank you so much for having me here. It's honestly a really pleasure to be part of this conversation with you. I was living back in time in Australia and got invited to support an NFT conference overseas. And that was like my first entry step towards the blockchain crypto world. I had very little knowledge about NFT blockchain technology, and from that on it has been a non-stop journey. I'm moving to events and partnerships and working with several projects across the world, evolving into more like a business development and incubation programs, like I've been doing in the past few years with Lisk.
From Australia to Lisbon, Berlin, and now you're currently living in Cape Town, and you of course still have these global ties. Can you share a bit about the work that you're doing right now and the impact that you hope to create? So you mentioned earlier on that now you're working at Lisk.
That's a very interesting one. I'm currently working with the incubation programs that we're doing in Africa, but also worldwide, and also on a freelancer capacity. So I'm trying to work with other projects that want to bootstrap projects and in their ecosystem, but they're struggling. But most importantly, I think what I'm really proud, and I think that's what excites me the most about working in this space, especially from on the global perspective. Working with several markets, for example, Africa, and then I was working in Germany, and then we started working with Southeast Asia. In March, I had a chance to travel all the way to Argentina, and we started working with South America market. What fascinates me the most is actually we are able to bridge culture in markets and see the potential in talents across several countries, but also the diversity. For example, we see there's a lot of communities, a lot of living ecosystems, they're a bit underrepresented, and maybe they're lacking, like a bit of like technical support or understanding of how the technology works, and we are able to provide that bridge. And to bridge that gap takes a bit of work on our side to support builders and projects in these markets.
I can imagine it hasn't been easy working in these emerging markets, and also just the space generally being so fast-paced and constantly evolving. What are some of the challenges that you faced, and how have you overcome them?
I think building trust, I would say. Working in innovative fields and industry, where people maybe they lack education, they lack resources, and they also lack a bit of trust. And there's this human element that comes into play that I think it's been also a challenge, that I'm trying to work closely with education service providers and community building, and it's something that's very close to my heart. The education, bringing people together, hear their stories, and try to understand how we can support their journey. We come from different parts of the world. A lot of people, they don't know us, they don't know our journey, they don't know what the scope of our work. So I think before we get to establish a foundation of a framework, we need to build trust and get to know the people we're working with. in the first place.
It's quite interesting that you say that, because you've been in this space for over 5 years now. And I suppose it is the fact that this is a technology that people don't completely understand. You speak about the education aspect of it. But in those 5 years, what has been your proudest moment?
That's a good one. What has been my proudest moments? It's been a roller coaster working in this space, honestly. There's 1 week feeling not motivated and struggling, but the next week I'm so proud of the accomplishments, and it moves so fast that it's really hard to pinpoint just a few proud moments. Every day feels like a win, if I have to say. One step forward, it feels like a big win, especially in this space. Working in this front innovation, it's really exhilarating. But one of my proudest moments, I think I need to answer that question. Okay. I would say when I moved to Germany to work permanently there, I saw a little bit of resilience of people to come together. First, Germany is cold. People didn't have the right motivation to come together for meetups. And I think slowly we built a bit of trust, and we empowered a lot of people to come together. And one of my biggest events actually was International Women's Day. And the topic of the meetup was diversity and inclusion. And we brought a lot of people together on that day. I think we reached 500 or more attendees to learn more about this space, and most of them, they were from the technical, non-technical roles. So it was quite exciting to see that combination, and the excitement that we can enable in this space to people start something. Sometimes just a conversation with someone who's in, sometimes a conversation with someone that is learning coding, it can spark their next step in their path, in their journey. So I think I would say, looking back, that was definitely something that I was really proud on one of my accomplishments.
Attending these Women's Day events, you always leave so inspired. How do you think women are reshaping the tech space?
I've been seeing a lot of women starting their journey into the tech and Web3 space, and it's growing quite a lot. I think for example, I'm part of a big community also in Europe called Crypto Girls Club, and there's women in blockchain that also join. And it's fascinating seeing that number growing from 200 to 500 to more than 1,000. So it's growing quite a lot, and I've been witnessing a lot of women across LinkedIn taking leadership roles, CEOs. So it's good to see that we are making an impact, and we also have a seat at the table, and we can make a difference. I started back then trying to share a little bit of my journey and mentoring some of the online meetups, and trying to hear from other women what the main challenges they've been facing and how to overcome. But it's a give and take. I also have a lot to learn from other women working in the space, and sometimes my challenges are other people's challenges as well, and I think we have a lot to learn from each other. But I think my advice is join communities, for other women to join these type of communities, to speak up, share their ideas, and don't wait for permission to lead the way.
I agree. I think these forums, organizations, or groups are very important. The mentorship aspect, if we want more women to be in the tech space, then we definitely need to be in groups like this to get advice from other women who have paved the way and have experienced the journey. So now we're going to switch things up a bit with a rapid fire round. I'll give you two options or a short prompt, and you just go with your first instinct. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Builders or backers?
Builders.
Conference stage or community meetup?
Community meetup.
Lisbon Cafe or Cape Town co-working?
Cape Town all the way around.
The most exciting thing about Web3 right now is?
Wow, there's so many things that is so hard.
I think we can break the rules here. Maybe mention your top 2.
Oh wow, okay. It's still hard, but I'll try. My top 2, my personal top 2 doesn't mean it is the top 2 within the general consensus in the space. My top 2 exciting things in Web3 at the moment is I would say incubation programs. I don't know if I'm biased because I've been working on them, but actually I can see the results and the capacity to support when hence before there was no type of support available. And the second one, I would say, I think meetups as always exciting. So I would say meetups. We learn, we build, we grow, and there will always be meetups. The most exciting thing because I think people can bounce back ideas and reshift the direction they're going. Because I don't think there is only one road ahead for blockchain. There's multiple case studies, multiple scenarios, multiple journeys. So meetups are the most exciting thing in Web3, I think.
Building in emerging markets has taught me
connecting talent globally goes beyond. I think innovation flows in both directions, and I think there is a lot of talent in places that we haven't tapped in yet.
Thank you so much, Taze. If you've enjoyed this conversation, make sure to check out the other episodes in the Stories from Women in Tech series, where we've shared more incredible voices sharing their journeys and wisdom. Please share your stories about women who have made their mark in tech. Until next time, bye everyone.